There we go. Now it's recording. I think it's right with all this stuff. Shout out to my brother for hooking it up with this mic and camera stand. Still trying to figure out how to use it. It's been a while since I posted. Welcome back to the Nosebleeds podcast. This is your host, Wilson. A, thanks for listening. B, let's get hit with some knowledge over the next month and a half. NFL draft, combines, pro days, what's going to happen, what's not going to happen, news coming in and out. I mean, this has just got to be the worst time in Vegas, right? Picture being an odds maker in Vegas right now with all the rumors and all the misinformation that's just spreading far and wide. If I had, cash, just discretionary cash to use on the side, I would start making bets on what's going to happen in the NFL draft because the odds can get all over the place based off different performances, based off different information, who you trust, who you don't, where you get that information from, how legit it is, how much you think it matters. If you know the NFL and kind of how this stuff works, the ins and outs of what's about to happen over the next month and a half, now's a perfect time to start placing bets. If I were to go to Vegas right now, I would go ahead and place down a parlay on the first 4 picks and how they're going to happen. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. That's what I would place. I don't know what the odds are. I don't have it on my phone. But, yeah, right now, that's what I would do. And then, maybe another one for Jaden Daniels and a trade out for somebody to take J.J. McCarthy. But it'd probably be the first one I just said. This is the most exciting time of the year for me, right? Because over the last couple, the Steelers really haven't done shit in this season. One playoff win, I think, in the last 10 years, just not acceptable. It really isn't. So I want to talk about something I just heard on The Herd. Something I heard on The Herd. Y'all know I use Colin Cowherd a lot as an example, and things I hear from him and his show, what he says, kind of either piggyback off it, agreeing or disagreeing. But some information came out that Russell Wilson, the Steelers, they had some mutual interest. As a Steeler fan, I think that is fucking amazing, right? And here's why. A, Kenny Pickett needs some competition. Right? I mean, he has not performed up to par the last 2 years. That's simple. That's all that needs to be said. Right? B, Russell Wilson is a experienced NFL quarterback who has dealt with offensive line issues, mobile. He could come in. Right? He's Russell Wilson. He's been there. He's won a Super Bowl. And C kind of ties in with B in the sense that what people are going to say about Russell Wilson, I've heard it too, all throughout his career, especially after, early success, he's kind of a cocky dude, right? That's okay to be cocky, but just ears some people. Just rubs them the wrong way. And when you hear that over and over again, it's, whether it's true or not, no matter what happened or didn't, it's a little weird, right? You don't want to continue to hear that over and over again. I believe that Mike Tomlin would be the perfect coach for a guy like Russell Wilson, whether it's true or not, that's had some trouble integrating himself into locker rooms and really being a part of a team, being a part of the guys that are around him. I mean, if you look at Russell Wilson and who he is, it's easy to see how he kind of disassociated himself from the rest of everyone else. I mean, you come into the league, undersized, 3rd-round quarterback drafted out of Wisconsin. You spent, right, your early years at NC State. They said, no thanks, but no thanks. We're going to go with somebody else. He says, all right, I'm transferring to Wisconsin. Ball's out there, drafted in the 3rd round, wins a Super Bowl in the first 4 years. Multiple-time Pro Bowler, broke records. I mean, guy was a stud. Big-time stud. Married Ciara, right, is a stepdad to Future's son. He's not normal. Hasn't gone through normal shit in life. He's a winner, does winner things. So it's easy to see how everything that's happened to him, he could start to disassociate himself with the rest of the team, especially when there's rumors about receivers fucking his wife, why they broke up. It doesn't matter. It's just whatever's happened has happened. If it did, it did. If it didn't, it didn't. But the point is, it's out there. And he's had to experience those questions. He's had to experience those situations. He's been through it. No one else has. Unique guy. He's won a Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin is a kind of no-nonsense coach, right? He comes in. He says, I'm not going to treat every player the same. You're going to be treated how you deserve to be treated. And I think every player that's come to the Steelers has gotten a chance to realize exactly what he means by that, right? I'm going to treat everyone fair, but not everyone's going to be treated the same. And so I think Mike Tomlin would be the perfect coach for Russell Wilson, right? You come in and just be like, yo, Russ, get your ass out here. Probably make a quip, be like, where's Sierra at, man? Where's she at? You get her at halftime? Just kidding around. Make him feel a part of something. Make him feel a part of a team. I think that would be great for the Steelers. I don't know. I don't know shit about Russell Wilson. Don't know him personally at all. Don't know if what I'm saying is what would happen. But hearing all the things about Mike Tomlin and the type of man and coach he is, and leader, and just a rock for guys to lean on and come to, and just trust that no matter what, he's going to shoot you straight. He's not going to sugarcoat it. If he does, no harm taken. He's a no-nonsense guy. He's a player's coach. It's that simple. I mean, say what you want about him. No losing seasons. It's impressive. It really is. And I think he is the right type of coach for a player like Russell Wilson, who needs a big-time reset on his career. Big time. Perfect place. Now if Steelers brass feels the same way, bring him in. What's that say about Kenny Pickett? Yeah, okay, you bring him in. You're pretty much saying, Russ, we want you to start. But so what? So what? If Kenny Pickett takes offense to that and doesn't step up to the plate and perform the way they want him to, the way, a top 20 pick should, then he was never going to be our franchise quarterback anyway. The argument of if you bring a guy in to compete with Kenny Pickett, if he is universally known as better or more talented than him, that says you gave up on Kenny Pickett. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It says, Kenny Pickett, we don't trust in you. That's what it says. It doesn't mean you gave up in him. It just means you haven't shown us it. If Kenny Pickett takes offense to that, he should. He should. Now, how he responds is what matters. If you're going to be a little bitch, be like, oh, they brought in this guy. Guess I'm not good enough. Go cry in a quarter. You're not an NFL caliber quarterback. You're not an NFL player. You're not a leader of men. They bring in Russell Wilson. Let's say Russell Wilson wins the job, but let's say Kenny Pickett's right in his ear the whole time. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, if Russell Wilson wins the job, it's because Russell Wilson did some Russell Wilson things, right? Because we all know when Russell Wilson's at the top of his game, the throws he can make, the type of player he is. It's a fact. It's why the Broncos traded for him. No matter if it worked out or not, he's a fucking hell of a quarterback. So I think it'll be great for the Steelers and Kenny Pickett. Because what if Kenny Pickett wins that job? That says even more, right? So why not? Why not? Especially on a cheap contract. That's just one thing I'm going to talk about. Over the next month and a half, it's going to be mainly draft. And I'm switching up the format in which I do these videos. I'm going to have to break them down. But you're going to find like this full podcast with the breaks and kind of no editing on YouTube. Rest of it's going to be cut down into clips, put on Instagram, TikTok, so it can be like easier to digest. But for me, it's easier to do a long video and then edit it than to try to like edit it throughout. Also, that's just stuff I've read. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. I want to talk about, I'm going to get up. I've got some notes here, man, about really what this podcast is is going to be key themes. I hope that you guys have taken away and that will be what I'm all about going forward. Obviously, love, respect. I don't want any hate on this channel, right? I come across as an asshole sometimes. I get that. But at no point am I don't want hate on here. If I say something that's offensive, let me know. Let's work on it, talk about it. But really, I don't really want people to think I hate anyone. It's love, it's respect. I don't want anyone to feel offended or feel like they're being bullied or singled out or talked down to, because I know how I am and I know how I sound when I'm talking, especially when I'm super passionate. So, if you hear that on my channel, if you hear me doing it, please let me know. Comment below. We could talk about it. And we'll go from there. But at no point do I want anyone to get offended or do I mean anything demeaning, hurtful, offensive. It's not what this is about. It's really not. This is passionate talk about football. And when I talk about football, I really want to stick to the NFL. And obviously, you can see behind me, you've heard me talk about it. Steelers are going to be the main subject. I have written down here, always have my head shaved. I don't have it shaved in this one, but next time you guys see me, it will be. Again, that's just stuff for the views, the algorithms. Let's see what else. Yeah. But it's really themes. Love and respect. I really don't want to hate on here. Never talk down to anyone else. Never bully anybody else. Let's keep it respectful. Let's keep it fun. Let's keep it light. If you ever feel disrespected, if you ever feel like you're being put down while watching this, while hearing this, please comment. Please send a message. We'll talk through it. And if it needs to be taken down, it'll be taken down immediately, because that's not what this is about. But so yeah, that's what I want everyone to know as they're watching these. So don't do it, because if I see it, you're gonna get called out, because I will bully you if you're bullying somebody else. Let's see here. Now this is stuff about my job. All right, yeah. So, something I'm seeing right now, Peter Schrager's on the herd talking about J.J. McCarthy, strong candidate to be drafted before Jaden Daniels. This is really funny, because I just talked about who I would bet on going top 4 in the draft. And I said if you're feeling frisky, maybe switch up Daniels for McCarthy, or say the Cardinals are going to trade out of that spot at 4. But Schrager here is saying that it's heating up that McCarthy could go before Daniels. Personally, I think that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Here's why. Honestly, I can't tell you why. Except for the fact that McCarthy didn't win Heisman. He wouldn't be in this conversation if Michigan didn't win at all. And that's kind of all that needs to be said. In no way, shape, or form, before fucking Harbaugh came out and said that he would take McCarthy number 1, did anyone think he should be a first-round quarterback at all? Since then, it has been an in-depth dive on everything J.J. McCarthy, right? And rightly so, too, because when you look at the guys Harbaugh's coached, right, you're like, holy crap, he's coached some good quarterbacks and made some good, but he's made some guys, athletic guys, better than they are, right? So, I think if you look at J.J. McCarthy, he's probably at near the top of his game in terms of, like, ceiling, right? You know Harbaugh coached the living shit out of him. You know it. You know he gave him tips of the trade. He was so well coached at Michigan that he's not going to be better coached in the NFL. I don't care who's coaching him. Unless, right? You're talking about Harbaugh. So, I think McCarthy is at the top of his game. Can he be an NFL starting quarterback? Absolutely. But would I take him over Jaden Daniels out of LSU, the guy who won Heisman? Fuck no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's that simple. There's ceiling on Jaden Daniels is so much higher, it's not even funny. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb if you're the Patriots. You fucked up with Mac Jones. Don't do it again. You want to repeat of Mac Jones? Take J.J. McCarthy above Jaden Daniels. See what happens. I'll tell you what's going to happen. You'll be in the same position 4 years from now, drafting Archie Manning, or 3 years from now, 2 years, whatever. That's what's going to happen. Let's see here. What else are they talking about? Again, a lot of what I do, piggybacking off other guys. I'm new to this. So, Colin Cowherd, love him. We're talking about trade market for Justin Fields declining quickly. I never thought it was that hot, to be honest. Here's a beer on here. I never thought it was that hot, to be honest. I mean, would I like Justin Fields on the Steelers? Yeah, I would. But I'm not. If I'm the Steelers, I'm not giving up anybody for Justin Fields, right? Especially now that Russell Wilson's a free agent. It's not. You want an argument over did you give up on Kenny Pickett? Go ahead and trade for Justin Fields. Then you could really talk about, are they completely out on Pickett? Because if you trade for Justin Fields, you might as well give the Bears Kenny Pickett. Straight up. Signing Russell Wilson or a Tannehill or a Kirk Cousins, that's not giving up on Pickett. Trading for Justin Fields absolutely is. Completely different quarterback. Drafted 1 year before him. It's just, right? I hope you can hear what I'm saying, and I hope you understand the difference, because if you don't, then, go watch First Take or something. But yeah, trade market, Justin Fields. Who's going to take Justin Fields right now? I saw some Atlanta, but, I mean, they're pretty much in the same position as the Steelers. Ritter. The Titans have Levis. Washington, why are they trade for Fields when they got the second overall pick? It's just peculiar position the Bears are in, right? They should have traded Fields immediately. They did too much thinking, and they played themselves out of it. Like, everyone already knows they're taking Caleb Williams. Unless you're stupid or haven't been watching college football or don't know who Caleb Williams is because you live in, Saudi Arabia, then the Bears weren't fooling anybody by holding on to Pickett. We're going to do our due diligence. And, we really got to see and evaluate DJ Moore. Like, oh, yeah, we want Fields back. I love Fields. Like, yeah, dude, he's going to say that? He had his best year ever. Obviously. Right? Who wouldn't? You stick up for your quarterback. But, let's call a spade a spade. This isn't a decision if you're the Chicago Bears. You get rid of Justin Fields and you draft Caleb Williams. It's really that simple. I don't know why they thought that they could play this cat and mouse game of, we're going to, no other NFL GM is sitting back thinking, they might trade the number 1 overall pick and keep Fields. No. Absolutely not. No. Everyone knew who they were drafting last year. I made a podcast about it earlier in the year. Caleb Williams, it's just everyone knew. So, good job, Bears. You fucked up again, right? So, so the trade market, in ending it all right there. The trade market for Justin Fields just never really existed. It just really didn't. Some of the things that I want to talk about on this podcast. I mean, I haven't really talked about how Mike Smith got hired for us here at the Steelers. A lot of people had shit to talk about that. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, another thing I want to talk about Steelers did this offseason, since I haven't been on, is the hiring of Arthur Smith. They got a lot of criticism for that, and I don't know why. Who else are you going to hire, right? A lot of people were talking about some of those young gun guys and whatnot. Arthur Smith is it, right? You look at Arthur Smith's background, I think he's the perfect guy for the Steelers. I really do. What they're trying to establish. So, I give that hire a B+, A-, B+. It's a really good hire. It's who I wanted them to hire. And it's going to do wonders for our offense. It's going to do wonders for our team. You got a guy who's been a head coach, was successful OC on a team. Like when he became OC, he made that team better, and they performed. He left to go be a head coach, right? You get that opportunity. 3 years at Tennessee, you make Tannehill. Henry has, the years he had. Obviously, A.J. Brown was there. Right? So, obviously, when a team comes calling, you're going to take that opportunity to go be a head coach. He was in Atlanta for 3 years. Never had a winning record, but he lasted 3 years in Atlanta. Never really had a quarterback. Got to draft a lot of offensive weapons. That's a fact. A lot of offensive weapons Atlanta drafted. But never really panned out. Never had a quarterback. Never had that stud quarterback. And now, they fire him after 3 years, and I would have too, right? What is it, Arthur Blank, owner of the Falcons? Yeah, you got to fire a coach after that, right? Didn't perform. But doesn't mean he's a bad OC. I mean, you talk to these guys all the time, how hard it is to be a head coach. Look at Dan Quinn, who just got hired by the Commanders. I mean, he is so appreciative. I'm sure if you ask him what he learned from the last time he's been a head coach to now, it's incalculable. It's going to make a world of difference. The mistakes he probably made his first time compared to what he knows to do different now, having that opportunity, it's huge. So, I mean, it kind of reminds me, it's not even the same situation, right? But when the Steelers got Raheem, or they got Brian Flores from Miami, right? You're fired. You're a head coach. You're fucking fired because Miami is racist, right? That's all I'm going to say about that. I take that back. I'm not going to say Miami's completely racist. What I am going to say is let's call that race was a factor and it had something to do with it. Brian Flores found himself from head coach to ostracized from the NFL, right? Not get calls for DC jobs even, right? You go from a head coach, right? You get fired as being a head coach from a team that did pretty all right? You turned it around, you did well, and you don't even get offered a DC job. What's that tell you? Oh, it's personal. Yeah, it has more to do with you than it does with the resume on the table. They got a problem with you personally. Not your ability. They got a problem with you and who you are and what you said, right? And the way they're going to look. All that needs to be said. Mike Tomlin goes to Rooney, just says, Flores is going to make the team better. Let's hire him. Boom, hired. Right? Linebacker coach. Year after that, he's out of there. Got a DC job with another team. Pretty sure it's the Vikings. I don't know for sure. But he's gone, right? Well deserved. Well deserved. Needed a chance. Somebody to come back. Arthur Smith, right? Not the same thing at all. Race isn't involved. But you talk about opportunities. Head coaches, like, you just fall right back in. I mean, Brian Flores might as well have been the defensive coordinator for the Steelers that year. Terrell Austin, DC. I mean, give me a fucking joke, right? Give me a joke. It was Brian Flores, and Steelers D was incredible, and immediately offered a real defensive coordinator position the year after because that's how good of a coach he is. Arthur Smith is going to come in and do a really good job with the Steelers, and when he does, he will be offered another head coach job in the next 3 years. It might take him 3-4 years to get back there, especially with the controversy going on with Pickett. But if you can come in, if we get Russell Wilson, look at me. Steelers get Russell Wilson, you might see Arthur Smith head coach in the next 3 years. Not this year, not next year, year after that. Yeah. That's what I feel about the Arthur Smith hiring. I think it's great. I think it's going to do wonders. Classic Steelers. What needs to be in the background, guys? I mean, I've got this kind of set up. I've got that. I'm going to have to deal with the camera, but in due time. Just wanted to get one out there again. It's been a while. Tell me, as Steelers fans listening, who do y'all want to draft in the first round? For me, got to be offensive line, right? I don't care if it's a tackle or a center. You know what I'm talking about. Jack's Powers, you know. Or a tackle. I really don't want us drafting a receiver. I'll say that. So I'm thinking, right, we got Broderick Jones. You guys tell me what jerseys you want to hear, but I'm thinking Broderick Jones on one side and TJ Watt on the other. We can figure that out. But I'm wearing the Pickett jersey today because of what I heard about Russell Wilson and what I think. What I take away from the Steelers situation they have at quarterback right now. If bringing in Russell Wilson is gonna make Kenny Pickett fold, then Kenny Pickett's a little bitch, right? It's just the way it is. Just the way it is. Alex Smith didn't fold when they drafted Patrick Mahomes, right? Aaron Rodgers didn't when they drafted Jordan Love. Brett Favre didn't when they drafted Aaron Rodgers. You know, Tom Brady didn't when they drafted Garoppolo. So don't be a pussy and think that competition with talent means, like, you're not entitled to anything, buddy. Just like everyone else out there. Cam Hayward was on a podcast. He said, yeah, competition would be good. Of course. I mean, you don't want a guy going out there that has no competition. I mean, the next guy's just so bad that you don't even know who's, like, if the first guy's good, right? It'd be like playing Madden, and you win by 40 because the guy threw 6 picks. It doesn't make you good, right? Doesn't make you good at all. It just makes him so shit that you look amazing. You scored a bunch. You scored a touchdown. He doesn't know how to play D. Drove his corners away. You're just audibling to slant and out routes, just hitting them bang, bang. Just doesn't make you good. Just means the guy you're playing is so fucking bad that you obviously you're better. So, I think bringing Russell Wilson in for the Steelers, huge. I love it. I hope they do. So we're gonna talk more. I don't really know how to end this. Might combine it. It's been about 30 minutes. But appreciate you guys listening overall. Welcome back to the Nosebleeds podcast.